Hello, 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 hello. I'm Lynn Browder, and I have a son, Owen, who is 11, and he has autism. We paint together, working on his fine motor skills. And if you've not watched before, I paint a lot of flowers. I laugh at that every time I think about it. I don't know when, why, how. I decided I was on a flower kick. I need to go back to painting some little animals or characters or something. I haven't done that in a while. Occasionally I'll do one or two, but I was doing like series of them, like animals in glasses and things like that. So I need to figure out a new something to do. So, and usually this doesn't matter up here because it's covered with stuff. And these are the colors we're kind of going with tonight. And I put them on the paper like that because I use them to, I call them paint blobs. I use them to create paint blob jewelry. And that's like these. They're just all kinds of things. I've got owls and magnets and rings and all kinds of things. But I need to keep working on them. Like I said, most of this stuff will eventually be covered up. I'm trying to break out of my consistent little one style flower. I've gotten kind of where that's like the one thing I've been doing lately. And so I thought I would do a little more like this tulip kind of thing, but I'm almost out of my green is, I'm almost out of the darker green. I don't know how much more I have of it, not enough. I like this color. It's called Campground. And I need more. I just wanted a little darker green. Shows up sometimes on the background, since the background's already green. And if you have watched before, you can probably fill in the blanks. I like to watch paint dry. And when I watch paint dry, it's always an interesting kind of thing to me. So, my that always reminds me of my friend when we were growing up. She used to always say, sew a button on your shirt, and I'm probably saying it wrong. But I am one of those people that never get the lyrics right to anything or sayings. It's just, I have a very hard time with any of that kind of stuff. But I can remember her always saying that to me. So I don't know why that just all of a sudden came in my head. My brain said, here. So I've been painting every day for years and years and years. And some nights I leave myself no time to paint. And then some days I do this earlier, or, something else happens. So tonight's one of those nights I have about 20 minutes to get the painting in. Which isn't, I don't generally paint much longer than that. That doesn't sound right. But it's just a matter of, oh, here, let's paint really quick. um, and I'm distracted at that. So, you know how it goes. Owen had a pretty good afternoon, but we were supposed to, well, not really. The supposed to part isn't exactly right. We were possibly going to my parents to have dinner. We were going to pick up a pizza and take it to their house. But that is out of routine, and that is not something that generally happens. And so anything like that is hard on Owen. And so we had talked about it for days. Our weekend plan had changed as well, because we went to this farm, and because of that he was exhausted, and everything had changed, so he didn't go to his grandma's on Saturday. We could have still gone, but he said he wanted to come home and take a bath, because it was an emotional thing. It's sensory and just all of the stuff. So I wasn't going to try to take him when he knew that he wanted to come home, and that would have been just harder to try to take him to his grandma on Saturday. And so that was the start of the days being thrown off. One thing leads to the next, leads to the next, leads to the next. And so, it's hard to know when to push him and me, or to just kind of let it go. And it's emotional. It's hard to see your child struggling over something like going to his grandma's house, when going to his grandma's house is something he absolutely loves to do. Like, he couldn't wait. He just talked about it all day. On Sunday, he was ready to go, on Tuesday. We talked about on Sunday that he was going to go on Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. To his grandma's. And so he, has talked about it since Saturday and all the days ahead. And so that's hard when he is thinking one thing, but as soon as he got off the bus today, we had already plotted and planned in the morning that we were going to go. But as soon as he got home, he started talking about staying home and not going. And so, I told my mom, and she completely understands, that I wasn't going to push him, because part of the journey was even for him to get that far, where he was making the decision to even think about going to their house. And so that's a lot for him to work through and think about and just deal with. So we didn't go, because as soon as he got home, he wanted to stay home. He wanted me to change. He always tells me to put on a dress, like a nightgown dress. He associates that with staying home. And he was done. But he was thinking about it. Was processing it. He was thinking about it. And, that in itself is a huge part of this journey. So, maybe tomorrow he'll reconsider and he'll want to go. Maybe he told me he would go next week. So maybe that's the victory. We had a wonderful victory, not this Sunday. I laugh, because this Sunday we were up at 2:00, and that was part of the continuation of our Saturday being off routine. But the previous Sunday it rained, and rain is one of those things that have caused huge, huge meltdowns for Owen for years. And he actually played in the rain. He was in the rain, not wanting to get out of the rain, at church, at the playground, wanting to sit in the puddles, look at the puddles, talk to the puddles, plop in the puddles, and did not want to go anywhere. It was a glorious thing. It was absolutely amazing, beautiful, just all of it. I laughed, I cried, I rejoiced, I wept, I laughed, I cried, I rejoiced, I wept. And I mean, when your child doesn't understand or can't comprehend that I have absolutely no control over the rain, and he's asking me to turn off the rain, there's nothing I can do about that. But yet there he is trying to get me to turn off the rain. And crying. I mean, hysterically, meltdown cry, screaming at the top of his lungs for me to turn off the rain. And just a few short weeks later, he is actually at church, the church park, and he is in the rain without crying. In fact, every minute he was saying 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. And when I finally was like, we have to go, he said 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes. So, it's such an amazing amount of progress, but everything is something he has to think through. So for him to even be talking about going, and getting a pizza to see his grandma, that in itself during the week is a huge, huge thing for him. So even though we didn't go, even though we had, some rough moments with it, it's still an amazing, amazing part of the story because he talked about it. He wanted to go. He thought long and hard about whether or not we were going to go. And that truly is a miracle. Those moments were absolutely huge for us. So I think that in another week, the rain, he went out in the rain because of Curious George. Curious George got in the mud somehow, and then that got Owen to go play in the mud, and the whole kit and caboodle. And so that's the part that is amazing and wonderful, is that he was able to kind of do this learning experience and go out and see the world. So I need to find all of the Curious George. I keep saying this. I need to find all of the Curious George books, videos, all of that, and see how we can associate it to things like going out randomly on a weekday instead of the weekend to someplace you love. That's the things we need to look at and kind of see how we can, just do different things. But he's making incredible progress. And even though we didn't necessarily get to go see his grandma today, he talked a lot about it. And I could see it was truly on his mind. And it won't be long till he figures it out. and we're able to go more places and do more things. It'll happen. I fully, completely believe. So I'm holding on to the progress. I'm holding on to the moments that, it's a journey. And it's not only like a journey for him, like he's processing all of this. Autism is as much about how I handle it as it is about Owen having it. And that's just kind of how it is. And so the more that I can learn, the more that I can grow, that's what's going to help both of us. I think I'm about done. I like to just add some kind of random little bunchy colors in there. I feel like I need a few more little extra somethings. But otherwise, I think I'm going to do just that. And there we go. So, I always put O for Owen and then L and B. So, thanks so much for being a part of our journey. And if you'd like to know more about our story, you can check us out on Facebook at Sweet Baby O or Sweet Baby O Designs. You can also look at our website, sweetbabyo.com. So I thank you for being part of our journey and watching me paint. Have a great rest of your day. Toodles.